Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàsán ní ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ní orí ìkànnì iléeṣẹ́ wa tí à ń pè ní Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to our doorsteps. Èní ni 25th day of the month of July 2025, 1500 hours. That means 3 p.m. local time láti Yoruba land. Mo kí wa pé ẹ káàsán and good morning. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ káalẹ́ if you're in Australia, and if you're in any other part of the globe, mo kí yín pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí ìkànnì wa. Ìkànnì iléeṣẹ́ yìí, iṣẹ́ kan tó gbà náà ni pé kí ó polongo fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá níkéde tó pọ̀ bí a ṣe máa gbára wa sílẹ̀, bí a ṣe máa dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú, to have our own independent Yoruba country. And we pray that láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà àwa náà lè máa sọ pé a Yoruba independent country is with us. Àmọ́ nísìn àìtí ní country, a ṣì ń work towards having a country tá ń pè ní orílẹ̀-èdè. Kí ló ń pè ní èdè? Language. Kí ló ń pè ní orílẹ̀? Ìlú. A fẹ́ ní ìlú tiwa, a fẹ́ ṣe government tiwa, a fẹ́ ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà ò sí tẹ́lẹ̀ kó tó di pé àwọn òyìnbó dé. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó dé, a mú wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àlejò, a dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú wọn. Àmọ́ àwọn nìkan ni ó yé ní ìdí tí wọ́n fi kó àwọn ẹ̀yà oríṣiríṣi tí wọ́n ò mọra wọn rí, wọn kì í ṣe lédè kan náà kó tó di pé wọ́n kó gbogbo àpapọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ti ń lọ bí 110 years tí Nàìjíríà ti wà. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ kó tó bí wa. Oríṣiríṣi nǹkan dẹ̀ tún máa ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà táwa náà bá lọ, àmọ́ èyí tí a lè ṣe nísìn ni pé ká gbìyànjú pé kí orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kó padà sí ibi tó wà tẹ́lẹ̀ kó tó di pé àwọn òyìnbó dé tí wọ́n fi kó gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀ tó di àmúlùmálà. Ìdí ọ̀hún náà ni a ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ibi tí olúkálukú wa wà pé ẹ má jẹ́ kí a mú ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní ti kékeré, ẹ jẹ́ ká mú ní ti iṣẹ́ kí ó lè ṣeé ṣe fún wa. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti iléeṣẹ́ wa Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Èní lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ni 25/7/2025. That means July la ṣì wà nínú ẹ̀. Àmọ́ tí a bá wo èní ló pé 45 days tí bàbá wa Professor Emeritus Adébánjí Akíntóyè tí wọ́n ní ká lọ máa jáde ní gbogbo iwájú ilé wa, ẹ̀yìn ilé wa, orí títì, ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ ọba, ká gbìyànjú ní gbogbo ìlúkìlú tá a bá wà láti máa polongo pé a fẹ́ lọ, a fẹ́ dá dúró. Kò dẹ̀ ṣe bí ìtìjà, àmọ́ àlàyé tó pọ̀ ló máa jáde nínú ẹ̀. Mo kí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí iléeṣẹ́ wa. Bàbá wa Akíntóyè jẹ́ kó yé wa pé àwa ẹ̀yà kan náà, àwa elédè kan náà, culture, ká lọ máa polongo Yorùbá nation, Yorùbá kingdom, Odùduwà republic fún gbogbo àgbáyé. Àní ta ti ń ṣe bọ̀ náà nìyẹn. So mo kí bàbá wa Emeritus Professor Adebanji Akintoye tí wọ́n jẹ́ the national leader of the Yoruba self-determination movement. Nígbà tí mo kí bàbá, látara bàbá, a lọ sọ́dọ̀ bàbá wa, ẹ̀gbọ́n wa, àbúrò wa, ọ̀rẹ́ aráàlú, ẹni tí nǹkan kan ò jọ lójú, ẹni tí kò wo ọlá tó ń bẹ nínú ẹ̀, tí kò wo gbogbo tí ó ní, tó yọ̀ǹdẹ̀ fún ìran rẹ̀ látara pé kó lè dá dúró, kí àlàáfíà lè jọba ní orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ pè lọ́daràn, àwọn kan tẹ́ pé lólè, àwọn kan tẹ́ sọ pé n tó máa jẹ ló ń wá, bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn kan ní kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀, n tó máa jẹ kọ́ ló ń wá, àmọ́ n tó máa ṣàǹfààní tó pọ̀ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko òun ló ń wá. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tẹ́ sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ti pọ̀ jù, sóhun nìkan ni, ṣèbá lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tó fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ káwọn náà dá sí. Ó ní àmọ́ òun ò dá sí náà ni lòun ṣe mú nígbà àyà. Ìyẹn ni ẹ̀gbọ́n wa tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nífẹ̀ẹ́, tí a bá lọ sí ìlú Ọ̀yọ́ ní Tuesday 22nd of July 2025. Òun náà ni Dr. Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ, popularly known as Sunday Ìgbòho Òòṣà. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá Akíntóyè, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ olóyè ọmọ Adéyẹmọ. Bí a ti ṣe ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn méjèèjì, bẹ́ẹ̀ là ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn YSDM tí a mọ̀ sí the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. Àwọn ni wọ́n jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìkànnì tí ó dúró láti gba ẹnu gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ nílé àti ní oko. Bí a ṣe ń kí bàbá wa olóyè Ìgbòho dáadáa, bẹ́ẹ̀ la kí gbogbo àwọn ìyá, àwọn bàbá tí a jọ ń ṣe ètò náà. Àdẹ̀kùnrin èyí tíjọ́ Tuesday lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ kábíyèsí méjèèjì láti ìlú Ọ̀yọ́, tí a fi gbéra lọ sí Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ lọ́dọ̀ bàbá wa tí wọ́n gbà wá lálejò, bàbá wa kábíyèsí Olúgbọ́n, His Royal Majesty Ọba Francis Olúṣọlá Àlàó, the Olúgbọ́n of Orílẹ̀ Ìgbọ́n. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ kábíyèsí wa ikú bàbá yèyé, ẹni tí kú rí tí kò pa, the current number 46 Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́. Àṣẹ tó bàbá pa kò ti sẹ́ni tó gbọ́dọ̀ yẹ̀ wò. Bàbá wa tó di gbogbo in tí ọba Elédùmarè gbélé wọn lọ́wọ́, the current Aláàfin, His Royal Majesty Ọba Abímbọ́lá Ọ̀wọ́adé. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá méjèèjì yìí tí wọ́n gbà wá lálejò, tí wọ́n dúró ti bàbá wa Ìgbòho pé máa bọ̀ nílé, ilé ọmọ kì í ba bàbá lẹ́rù, máa bọ̀. ilé ọmọ kì í ba bàbá lẹ́rù máa bọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹgbẹ́ ìfẹ́lódùn àpapọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tí president wọn jẹ́ bàbá wa Gani Alágbàlá. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí vice Kentos ìyá wa. Mo wá kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ láti ẹgbẹ́ akíkanjú bàbá wa Wòrò Ṣàṣà. Mo kí ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà. Mo lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo àwọn deputy méjèèjì tó dúró ti bàbá Kítóyè tí a mọ̀ sí Káyọ̀dé Ẹ̀mọ̀lá, the current deputy chairman diaspora for the Yoruba self-determination movement. Bí mo ṣe ń kí Ẹ̀mọ̀lá mo kí Káyọ̀dé Ẹ̀mọ̀lá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí George Akínọlá, the homeland deputy. Mo kí gbogbo groups to coordinate láti Lagos, Ogun State, Ọ̀yọ́ State tó gbà wá lálejò títí dé ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, títí dé ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo. Mo kí àwọn ti Benin Republic tó darí wálé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí àwọn ti ìlú Èkìtì tó bá níbi tí àwọn tó ní PhD tó pọ̀ ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ lè rọ àwọn Èkìtì sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́. Mo kí the diaspora youth leader tó wá láti America, Prophet Ológun Olúwa. Mo kí the diaspora Omeyo. Mo kí gbogbo coordinators. Mo kí àwọn Ondo. Mo wá kí gbogbo àwọn ẹlọ́ṣọ́ ààbò tó ṣe pé wọ́n dúró. A kì í mọ̀ bóyá nígbà tí fìrìfìrì olóyè Ìgbòho bó ti wà láàrin ìlú, a kì í mọ̀ ni. Èèyàn á máa fura lẹ́ǹkankan torí pé a kì í mọ̀. Àtàwọn tí ẹ rí tó jẹ́ aláṣọ́ ààbò àtàwọn tẹ́ ẹ rí, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Nigerian police tí wọ́n dúró láti palace pé kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó má wà ráúdì. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn nítorí pé nílùú òyìnbó náà nígbà tí a fẹ́ ṣe rally, èmi náà ni mo dúró ti àwọn ọlọ́pàá lọ́rùn pé nǹkan kan gbọ́dọ̀ ṣolóyè o. Ó ń bọ̀ jáde fún rally nílùú London, oríṣiríṣi dẹ̀ là ń gbọ́. Wọ́n máa da chemical, wọ́n máa da weapon. Àwọn ọlọ́pàá UK jẹ́ kó yé mi pé mímí kan ní mì ní bíbáyìí ká máa fi ṣe gbogbo tá máa ṣe tán. Mo ní ẹ̀ṣọ́, mo nítorí pé àwọn tó ń dẹnu pé olóyè ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ London láti wá ṣe rally. Ọlọ́pàá ní gbogbo tó bá tọ́ tó yẹ láti fi ṣàbò fún olóyè àti gbogbo àwọn tó máa tẹ̀lé lẹ́yìn làwọn máa ṣe. Helicopter dúró throughout ìyẹn ní UK láti BBC títí tí olóyè fi padà sí ibi tá fẹ́ jẹ́ kó padà sí nígbà tó dúró tó parí rally pẹ̀lú wa ní London. So ká dúpẹ́ fáwọn àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ọlọ́pàá Nàìjíríà náà pé wọ́n ṣe wọ̀nba tí wọ́n lè ṣe nígbà tí wọ́n ti gbọ́ pé olóyè ń bọ̀ tó dẹ̀ máa wà láàrin ìlú láti wá yọjú sáwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá torí ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ ni láti wá rí àwọn bàbá ẹ̀. Lóòótọ́ wọ́n tẹ̀rí sí wà lórí ẹ̀, àmọ́ ó wọlé, ó dẹ̀ wọlé kò sí wàhálà, kò dẹ̀ dàlúrú torí pé láti ọdún 5 tí a ti ń ṣèrìn àjò yìí, olóyè a máa sọ fún mi pé ọlọ́pàá kan ò gbọ́dọ̀ ná, ìyà tó ń jẹ aráàlú ọmọ Yorùbá náà ló ń jẹ ọlọ́pàá àtàwọn tó kù bẹ́ẹ̀. So mo kí gbogbo wọn náà, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Mo á kí gbogbo àwọn olórí ní palace méjèèjì tá lọ pé a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o, a mọ̀ lóore, a dúpẹ́ pé ẹ dúró ti àwọn kábíyèsí wa, àwa náà dẹ̀ láǹfààní àti bá yín dáadáa. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ṣètò ní background tó pọ̀, gbogbo wọn kọ́ ni a lè dárúkọ. Mo kí ìyá wa Tóyìn Ọláoyè táwọn náà ra tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì pé bó jẹ́ £3,000 a máa kanlẹ̀ sílùú Ọ̀yọ́ pẹ̀lú olóyè Ìgbòho. Mo kí Sister Elaine Ìyájágún, àwọn ló gbé lẹ́tà dání tó wá gbà lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa nílùú Benin Republic, tí lẹ́tà náà tó gbé fún èmi tí mo fi gbé fún olóyè pé bàbá lẹ́tà yìí ló ní ká gbé fún bàbá wa kábíyèsí Aláàfin tèní. The letter was delivered just like bá ṣe deliver letter náà fún Prime Minister Stammer, nítorí pé UK ni mo fẹ́ gbé wa lọ lẹ́nìí. Ọ̀rọ̀ ń bẹ ta fẹ́ sọ pẹ̀lú UK. A fẹ́ mú kankan jáde tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ torí pé ibi ìbáyìí gangan ni international platform. Mo tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbé fídíò mi. A ti rí pé ẹ ti ń lò ó, àmọ́ ẹ tí ì ṣe ń ta nẹ́kẹ́ ṣe sórí ẹ̀. Gbogbo fídíò mi ibikíbi tẹ́ bá ti cut lára ẹ̀, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ gbé sókè kárí dáadáa. Credit to Koikimedia. A ṣiṣẹ́ fẹ́ni kankan. À ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, àmọ́ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ credit wa. A jiyàn pé kẹ́ má lo fídíò. Ibi tẹ́ bá fẹ́ lò níbẹ̀ ẹ cut ẹ̀, but ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ credit ẹ̀ kó show lókè, torí pé iléeṣẹ́ tiyín ó ń brand ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú tọ̀dọ̀ tiyín. Kò jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé bóyá iléeṣẹ́ kan lẹ ti gbé, kọ́ má máa rò pé bóyá ẹ̀yin lẹ employ wa níbí báyìí. A dúpẹ́ fún ìtẹ́ tí ń bá wa ṣe látọdún 5. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lò ó dáa, bẹ́ẹ̀ lò ó ibi tó máa dé ó máa dé bẹ́ẹ̀. Torí tó fi mú kábíyèsí méjèèjì sọ pé àwọn dálé iṣẹ́ yìí mọ̀ tán pè ní Koikimedia. A jẹ́ pé gbogbo ọmọ ìlú náà gbọ́dọ̀ mọ Koikimedia. Mo wá kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá pátá. Ẹ má wọrí, gbogbo yín náà la máa bá ya picture nígbà tá a bá tún máa padà wá láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà lágbára Ọlọ́run. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn awakọ̀. Mo fẹ́ léde bí àwọn ọmọ mi ló wọlé last 1 o'clock ní truck wa dé kó padà lóru àná. Mo kí team leader wa, ó release àwọn staff wa tó kù, ó náà máa dúró ti mọ́tò yẹn pé bí mọ́tò yẹn ò bá délé òun náà ní wọlé. Aago 2 fẹ́ lọ lù ló wọlé lóru èní. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ gan. Mo wá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹni tó náwó tó nára. Ẹ̀yin kan ò lè wá, àmọ́ ẹ máa fowó yín ránṣẹ́, torí ìrìn àjò tá gbé dání ó involve owó, ó involve kíyàn náwó. So mo dúpẹ́ gan fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá látòkè délẹ̀. Kó tó di pé a máa lọ sí UK, torí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ lágbàáyé lénìí. In tí mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ mú jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ṣé ó dìgbà tí tiwa náà bá dé stage yẹn lọ́mọ máa pariwo pé kó lọ recognize Yorùbá nation. Farabalẹ̀, kẹ má sá lọ lórí broadcast tèmi, torí pé ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú international information tó fi jáde. A gbé lẹ́tà lọ bá UK government, mo ń bọ̀ níbẹ̀, bọ́ ká tó lọ síbẹ̀. Mo kí bàbá professor, wọ́n ti jáde lórí world media lánàá láti dúpẹ́ fún àwọn kábíyèsí. Ẹni tó bá ti wo fídíò yẹn, ẹ lọ sórí Yorùbá world media, kẹ lọ gbọ́n tí bàbá sọ níbẹ̀. Ó wù mí kí n darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn lánàá, àmọ́ bọ́dì tí a fi jáde níjọ́ Tuesday ó ṣe ń recover ni. So mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n ṣètò fún bàbá lánàá. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó dán bá ṣe ń fẹ́. Nígbà tí mo ti lọ, tí mo ti kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, ẹ wá jẹ́ ká jókòó, ká farabalẹ̀, ká lọ béèrè pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ìlú tí ó ti ń bẹ, ẹ̀yà tó ti ń bẹ tó yìnbó kó papọ̀ ní British Empire, British monarch, British government tó kó gbogbo wa papọ̀, tí a dẹ̀ lọ sọ fún wọn pé a fẹ́ ìjà, a fẹ́ wàhálà, àmọ́ a fẹ́ dá dúró, a fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe ìlú oríṣiríṣi ló wà nínú Nàìjíríà tẹ́ kó papọ̀ yìí. Ẹ ṣe jẹ́ kólúkálukú dá wà. Bàbá wa Akíntóyè, ìyẹn ní last year October, wọ́n gbé olóyè ọmọ Adéyẹmọ dìde. Wọ́n ní káfàtà, ó yá London yá, wá tẹ̀síwájú, wá tẹná sọ́kọ̀. Bàbá olóyè Ìgbòho ó gbéra, ó wọ number 10 Downing Street. Àwọn tó jẹ́ àwọn tiẹ̀ wọ́n tẹ̀lé wọlé. Kí ni ìdí tá ṣe lọ sí Downing Street àti pé kí la fẹ́ mú jáde níbẹ̀? Ṣé a ṣeré lọ ni? Àbí nǹkan tó ṣe pàtàkì la bá lọ? In tó ṣe pàtàkì la bá lọ. in tí ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ìran ọmọ Yorùbá òun la gbé lẹ́tà lọ fún the UK Prime Minister ní October. But the question is, kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ tí the UK refused to understand and accept the truth that the indigenous people also want a full statehood, tó fẹ́ dá dúró as an independent country, so that there will not be a kind of a bloodshed and everybody can have peace. Láti dá dúró kò ń ṣe crime. In the UK government láti ṣe ni pé kó pe federal government, kó pe representative gbogbo àwọn indigenous people tó ń bẹ nínú Nigeria, and then start asking them questions. Ṣé a fẹ́ dá dúró àbí a sì fẹ́ máa ṣe Nigeria? It's just one simple question. Táwọn kan lè pè ní referendum. Do you want a Yoruba country? Do you want a Biafra country? Do you want an Hausa country, Ijaw country? Yes or no? Simple question. Yes or no? But àwa rí pé the UK government is not talking about the issues. Why? Is a question that many people are still trying to fathom. Kí ló fà á àti pé kí ló dé that the UK refused to look into the issues surrounding Nigeria after this amalgamation of 1914. Ó wá jẹ́ nǹkan tó máa ń yà wá kan lẹ́nu pé kí ni UK fẹ́ gain if Nigeria is still one? Àti pé kí ni wọ́n lè gain if the country is divided to different nations? There are many things that the UK government can enjoy. There are many things that the UK government can have access to, just as they have it in Nigeria, but maybe not as it is, because there will be a lot of different things that they might not enjoy. Torí pé a mọ ìyàtọ̀ tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. It will be a Yoruba government, but they will still have opportunity to work and do a lot within a Yoruba land. But I repeat, the UK government doesn't want that. They want Nigeria to remain one. And that is why David Lammy was sent to the country and to tell us that by 2075, Nigeria will be a better place. And it will be better for us to stay together as one country rather than many countries. But the question is, are we many countries or are we one country? We have already proved that to many people that are either in support of an independent Yoruba country or not. The question is, why is the UK government still not accepting the truth, and nothing but the truth, that the country known as Nigeria has now come to the stage of either we negotiate peacefully or it might disintegrate quickly into the situation that might then mean that countries might start to accept, to recognize Yoruba as a country and the others that wants to exit as well. So this afternoon, I will be taking us to some of the latest development that is coming out of the UK government, or United Kingdom rather, and many other international countries that are speaking regarding one issue, and one big issue, and that issue is the issue of the Palestinian people. We have seen, we have heard, àti gbọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jàǹbá tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sáwọn ìran Palestinian, especially in the last 3 years. It has been one chaos or the other, and mostly death of innocent people. Màá kọ́kọ́ ṣàlàyé, there have been many deaths in Yoruba land and across Nigeria, and I will use Nigeria so that we do not just bracket it as the Yoruba people alone. But the UK government still doesn't want to accept that Nigeria is a failed state, and anything that is a failed state is not likely to function, is not likely to work as you might expect it to be. So gbogbo case of many crises that is happening in Nigeria today is because Nigeria is a failed state, and nobody can change the current situation, because a failed state is a failed state. It cannot be amended. It cannot be fixed, because the issues at hand has got to do with the undertone of the problems that was put together in the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. So rather than wait until it explodes, the Yoruba people continue to put pressure, not just on the international community, but also the Africans communities, the Europeans, and the most important part, the British government. Because the British government has a lot to answer to the issues of Nigeria. And those issues need to be answered before Nigeria becomes something more than Sudan and something more than the current state of Palestinian and many other regions where there is crisis today. And this is why I want to ask the question, and the question is, are we going to wait until many things become unbearable, or Nigeria becomes a war zone before recognition of a Yoruba country will be accepted by the UK government and many other countries across the globe? These questions is what I'm putting out to the British government again today, that it is still in the interest of everyone that we dialogue to resolve the issues, rather than believe that the issues cannot escalate. The issues surrounding Nigeria can quickly escalate into bigger problems if care is not taken. The issues that is currently in Nigeria, the debt, and many other things that are happening on a daily basis can bring Nigeria into another civil war, as we have seen it before in the 1960s when the Biafra Civil War was ongoing. Today, we have seen and we are hearing many conflicts around the globe. As I speak to us this afternoon, ogun kan lọ báyìí between ìlú méjì. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá wà lórí channel wa, ẹ rí pé ẹ ti máa rí update. Ìlú méjì tí update tí a ti ń fún yín in the last couple of days is between Thailand and Cambodia. There's a serious war, and these are war now that we can watch even if it's not comfortable. À ń rí bí ogun yẹn ṣe ń lọ lórí channels of many international news network across the globe. Thailand won clashes with Cambodia, could move towards a war. Ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ogun la máa mọ̀ lóòótọ́, kò sẹ́ni tó mọ ìparí ogun. But when you don't give room for peace, you must prepare for war. And that is exactly what is playing out right now in Thailand and also Cambodia. We pray and we hope that peace will come in to resolve those issues. So that is from the update on the international side of things, where currently I can tell us that fighting between Thai and Cambodian troops over a disputed borders, ilẹ̀ máa ń mú ìjà wá, ilẹ̀ máa ń mú ogun wá. Àwọn tó fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, they are not backing down, they are forging ahead, they are pushing in, and that literally means that we should prepare the same if care is not taken. Koikimedia bringing the word closer to your doorstep at exactly 15:32, 25th 07 2025. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo ẹni tó bá gbé fídíò wa, going forward, you need to credit that video. If otherwise, the video will be flagged down by the Koikimedia management and we will not be able to do anything to that. You're going to use the video, you need to credit it right on top of your screen so that everybody can see it visibly well. You cannot pick videos and then you don't credit it. So, èyí tí ẹ bá mọ àwọn tí ẹ bá ń rí fídíò wa lọ́dọ̀ wọn, ẹ máa comment sábẹ́ wọn pé Mr. Koiki ti ní wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ credit video moving forward. Let's come back again to the discussion regarding the UK government and what is happening with the issues of the Palestinian. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ ìlú tó ń pè ní Palestinian. They are a country that have now started recognizing the Palestinian people. And as I speak to us today, just for brief, quickly, so that we have some kind of background, but what I'm saying is our own is right there, and we'll continue to tell the international community to look into it rather than run away from it. From what we know so far, Palestinian, a country in the West Asia, recognized by 147 of the United Nations, 193 members. This is where you want to be. Position tí ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ wà lélẹ̀ in a situation where à ń pariwo pa fẹ́ gba country wa, a dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ kí gbogbo àgbáyé kó recognize wa. But àwọn ìlú kan wà tó lè recognize wa, àwọn kan dẹ̀ wà tí wọ́n ní recognize wa. So when we talk about recognition, kí ni wọ́n pè ní recognition? Tí, for an example right now, if Baba Akintoye declare Yoruba nation, you need at least many countries tí wọ́n ti bá sọ̀rọ̀ àtàwọn tí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ kó lè recognize pé lóòótọ́ àwa náà fẹ́ kí Yorùbá dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, gẹ́gẹ́ bí country. And that is the normal norm in a civilized diplomatic way of getting something. But why would they recognize you would depend on owó lẹ́fẹ́ fi gba country yẹn, àti pé kí ni interest tí wọ́n pẹ̀lú country tẹ́ ti fẹ́ kúrò. So tá bá ní a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, a dẹ̀ fẹ́ yẹ kí gbogbo ìlú kó recognize wa officially. The other way around it is, if you have a referendum and that referendum comes out to say gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé o have now decided that they want a country called Yoruba Nation, automatically we expect no country to dispute it. That is if you have gone through a proper referendum conducted, recognized through the United Nations, not by the government. If the outcome of that referendum becomes a popular vote, a popular acceptance, then a jẹ́ pé gbogbo ìlú tó wà lábẹ́ United Nations. United Nations is not a country. A ti ṣàlàyé fún wa many times. United Nations is just a body, an organization that was formed, sometime, if I'm right, United Nations was established in 1945, if I'm right. Yes, in 1945, the United Nations was officially established. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá didn't exist before the United Nations. But because United Nations has become like the body where many countries are embedded to, there are a lot of disagreement among it, and one of it is the Palestinian issues. Tí amúwálé ní nísìn tá fi link mọ́ àwa tá náà fẹ́ gba country tiwa náà. So in 1945, the United Nations was officially established after the conclusion of the World War II and the drafting of the United Nations Charter. Inú charter yẹn nísìn láti sọ pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation, because under the United Nations Charter, there is a particular charter that says that you have the right, it doesn't matter whatever the government that you are in, as a country presently, whether they accept it or they don't accept it, that is their own cup of tea. Problem problem. As long as Nigeria remain a signatory to sign pé àwọn sì máa ṣe pẹ̀lú United Nations, wọ́n ní right láti stop gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá kankan tó bá náà ń fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. But torí pé yín ò mọ̀, wọ́n fi jẹ́ kẹ́ mọ̀. Ìyẹn ló sì gbọ́dọ̀ jókòó tí Koikimedia kò lè láǹfààní àti mọ̀ tó ń lọ. Torí Nigerian government ò fi jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé àwọn sign wò pẹ́ẹ́nì lélẹ̀ nígbà tí Nigeria join United Nations. Wọ́n ti sọ pé gbogbo tí United Nations bá ti ṣe o, àwọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí. So lẹ́ni nísìn táwa wá ń sọ pé a fẹ́ gba country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ò ní any right láti sọ fún wa pé ó lè pariwo Yorùbá nation, a lè accept pé kẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation. Gbogbo yẹn kò ń ṣe tí wọ́n lè sọ nítorí pé signatory Nigeria wà lábẹ́ United Nations. So mo fẹ́ kí yẹn kó yé wa lára charter tí à ń lò yẹn lọ́ fi ń pè ní self-determination. Article 3, indigenous people. Àwọn wo ló ń pè ní indigenous people? Ẹni tó ń sọ èdè mi, tí àjọjọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀yà kan náà àti orílẹ̀-èdè tá wà tó jẹ́ ilẹ̀ tiwa. O lè sọ pé ọmọ Ìgbò ni ẹ́ nísìn tó bá jẹ́ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni ẹ́, o ń ṣe indigenous ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn. O lè fẹ́ ọmọ Ìgbò, kọ́ ọmọ Ìgbò bímọ fún ẹ. Ìyẹn ò ní pé automatically forefather àwọn tí ó bá yẹn ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n. Relationship ló join ìwà àtọmọ Ìgbò yẹn papọ̀. So Ìgbò yàtọ̀ sí Yorùbá látayébáyé, ní àmọ́ra wa rí, àtẹ̀ ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú ra wa, ní kankan ṣe. British ló kó gbogbo wa ló wá join wa papọ̀, ló wá ní kẹ́ máa jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Àwa tí wá wò pókè nísìn tí a ti ní ìmọ̀, a ti ní understanding, a fẹ́ yọra wa kúrò nínú ẹ̀. And the process of that is what we are doing right now. Process yẹn kó má bàa di ogun la ṣe ń pe Britain padà nísìn pé èyí tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó fi ń sọ fún wọn nísìn pé nígbà wo lẹ fẹ́ recognize Palestinian, torí wọ́n ti fẹ́ pa wọ́n tán lọ́hùn-ún. Ṣẹ́rí nísìn pé la ṣe ń parí pé ẹ má jẹ́ kó pa wá tán ká tó gba country, because many people might die. You might not know, you might not understand the amount of people that are dying gradually, because Nigeria being a failed state is not ready to fix the problem and the pain of the Yoruba people. In tó ń dùn wá nígbàyà, in tó ń ká wa lára, ta fi ń sọ pé a fẹ́ dá dúró. Àwọn tó wà níta ó lè má ká wọn lára, tó wà okay, but àwa tá wà nínú ilé ó ń ká wa lára. And that is why it's called Article 3, indigenous peoples. We are recording, and that's why we can't mention names. But this program today is got to do with international tone of self-determination. No. You got to understand it because you are on the international media that is speaking right now. Article 3, indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, la set up political party. Under APC, because APC is under Nigeria, and Nigeria is not just a failed country, but is also a country that has many countries inside it, using a fake constitution that wants to represent indigenous people that cannot work. Torí tí bá ní kàn máa sọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí, àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù máa challenge. Tá bá ní Yorùbá country lẹ́nìí, the first thing is any part of Yorùbá land becomes officially Yorùbá language. Ẹni tó fẹ́ gbé láàrin wa yẹn, ó gbọ́dọ̀ lọ kọ́ èdè, just like they do when they travel out of the country. Àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí wo what will help our economic, so that káràkátà tó ń ṣe á wà lábẹ́ Yorùbá government. Èyí tó ń ṣe lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà nísìn kò ní àǹfààní kankan, kò dẹ̀ lè ní àǹfààní kankan, kò dẹ̀ lè wúlò fún ẹ. Ó bá pariwo títí dọ̀la, you will not gain the economic value of Nigeria. Because my own mother could not gain it. That's why she ran out of Nigeria in 1992. Èmi mọ̀ náà pé èmi ò lè gain ẹ̀ lọ́sífẹ̀ẹ́, èmi náà kúrò ní 1998, 27 years now. You are still telling me Nigeria will be a great place. They joke. Other part of it is the social and the cultural development. Lè represent Yorùbá nínú Nigeria. Bá máa ṣọdún eégún, ṣọdún this, ṣọdún that, ṣọdún orò. We are still under Nigeria. Kò lè fún wa ní representatives. Has been a Yoruba government that will put it as a mandatory. And I hope you understand that. So that is why it is called self-determination. Kò ṣe a lọ join wá lọ darapọ̀ kó lóye wá lọ di governor, ìyẹn kọ́ là ń sọ nísìn, gbogbo yẹn kò lè work nínú Nigeria. Now let's go back quickly to the conversation. I am taking you to the UK, and I'm also taking you to the international, where things happen very fast. It's happening extremely very fast. We have to talk about it so that it goes on record that these kind of videos can be extracted and say, well, we call the UK government to recognize a Yoruba government now, to recognize the Professor Akitoye as the leadership of the Yoruba nation, to enable us to accept the truth and nothing but the truth that Nigeria is no longer working after 110 years, and it has been a failed country from the day it was established in 1914. It was established not for the interest of the Yoruba people, it was established for the interest of Britain, and it is now time that UK government come out openly and tell it and say it as it is. And so at Sobi, United Nations was created. So let's quickly go back now to the issues of the Palestinian again. And what is the issues? The issue now is that the Palestinian, as we know, money 147 countries will recognize one. 193. So Taba minus, take away 193 minus 143. That means 50 countries really could recognize the Palestinian. 50. The numbers of the people that have recognized them is good. Tibabakito about declare Yoruba nation. Tabari 143 countries go recognize what is a good step. Even if America, UK, and many other countries that are in the G7 do not accept it or not. At least it gives Babakitoye the leverage. Thank you so much for the super chat, Aziz Badeshire, all the way from Miami. If we have 143 countries tó bá recognize the Yoruba nation after a declaration, we should be grateful. Normally, you need at least nothing less than 10 countries. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ jáde, kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n máa ṣe lábẹ́ bòńkẹ́lẹ́, ṣé mo right? Bòńkẹ́lẹ́ pé Yoruba nation declare. Àwa wá ń sọ pé a lè jáde síta. No, the country tí ó bá máa recognize yẹn, wọ́n máa jáde nílùú wọn. Wọ́n máa gbé ẹni tó ń pè ní Minister for Information wọn, ó máa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí TV, gbogbo àgbáyé máa gbọ́ pé àwa ìlú yìí o, I recognize the Yoruba nation. That is the process. That is the norm. Kò ṣe pé èèyàn kan máa kọ̀ sọ pé ẹ lọ sórí Google àti gba country and all this nonsense and stupidity by some of our people that doesn't seem to understand the false and the truth. Tá à ń sọ fún. Kò ṣe pé àkànmá níyàn kan ó gbé blueprint dání, ó dẹ̀ ti gba country fún yín. I wonder, irú àkàrà tẹ́ ń jẹ bí elépo ni bí olóróró ni. When you want a country and you declare, or not them have to declare, is entirely up to you. Nobody tells you how to declare. How to start the campaign is what we have been told. What will be the end of this campaign before 2027? Kò tí sẹ́ni tó mọ̀. Ó wà lọ́wọ́ Bàbá Akíntóyè, ọwọ́ Ìgbòho, àtọwọ́ YSDM, àtàwátà tí wọ́n lẹ́yìn. But a lot of people don't understand what and how politics works globally. Does Baba Akíntóyè have the right to declare Yoruba nation? Yes, he has every right to declare Yoruba nation. Do we have what it takes to defend Yoruba nation? Question you need to ask yourself. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni declaration, ọ̀tọ̀ ni kó protect declaration yẹn. Declaration, ìlú wo ló máa fún yín ní recognition after declaration. United Nations doesn't tell you to go and declare. You decide that among yourself. To avoid conflict and problem and war, òun la ṣe ń lọ ní route. The push and the push and the push. How long that push will take before it becomes what it is, like it is happening in Palestinian, is what nobody knows. The catastrophe will happen. How soon, nobody knows. So moving forward quickly because of the time, and it's exactly 49 minutes into the broadcast. Now, tí a ti ní understanding, we come back again. You can declare a country, but you need countries to also give you the support. Country yẹn ló máa fún yín ní weapon. Country yẹn ló máa fún yín láwọn kankan tẹ́ máa fi sáré fi dìde. Torí pé ìlú tẹ́ ti fẹ́ jáde yẹn tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ jáde peacefully, you might not need all that. All you just need to start forming your government and run things. But tó bá jẹ́ pé ìlú tẹ́ ti fẹ́ jáde yẹn kò ń ṣe ìlú tó fẹ́ accept pé kẹ́ jáde pé no ẹ lè kúrò ní Nàìjíríà tó di ìjà tó di woro sí woro, then you also must have a lot of countries that can back you. And that's why funding for such means that ọ̀nà méjì ni, is either you fund yourself all the way to having what it takes to fight it pẹ̀lú gbogbo irinṣẹ́ tẹ́ máa need, or you need the country that says tẹ́ bá gba country yín, we can have conversation, we can have deals and all that, bó ṣe ṣe nìyẹn, but we will support you, we will give you everything you need. During the Biafra war, there are countries that supported the Biafra, while there were countries that supported Nigeria. Most importantly, British was the one funding Nigeria military as at the time. But ilé ayé ti yí padà nísìn, kò dàbí 1960. We have many countries that have dispute with each other. We have countries that have different interests today. So in tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1960 kò likely pé ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ if the breakup of Nigeria is going to happen today. But all countries will not just come out and say, "Ati fún yín ní support." But Britain is one area that needs to talk about the Yoruba nation. And the reason for that, I'll be telling us. Britain wà lára ìlú tó gbọ́dọ̀ jáde nísìn láti sọbi tí wọ́n wà fún gbogbo àgbáyé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá people and those that are asking for Yoruba nation. The reason is that Britain ló create a problem tí à ń face nísìn presently in the day of what is known as Nigeria. Àwọn ló dá wàhálà yẹn sílẹ̀. Àwọn ni the backbone of Nigeria. And you now see why we are dating our own rally in day 44. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wà lórí screen, I want you to look up to the area that says the Times of Israel, which is the newspaper tí mò ń lò to, as part of the program this afternoon. Ẹ rí pé lókè ẹ̀ níbi red section yẹn, wọ́n kọ síbẹ̀ Israel at war. Israel wà nínú ogun day 658. Kò dẹ́ ṣe ojoojúmọ́ náà ni à ń gbọ́ tó ń yìnbọn, but ojoojúmọ́ ni wọ́n pa àwọn ará Palestinian. At least almost on a daily basis people are dying. So tá bá ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa náà pé a ti wà ní day 44. Ó lè lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ títí di day 600. So whether we came out or no, let me rephrase that. Whether we come out, bóyá jáde ní wùrùwùrù, ọ̀rọ̀ wùrùwùrù kọ́, kí ni outcome tá fẹ́ bá jáde lórí ọ̀rọ̀ rally, òun la ṣe ń sọ pé rally sì ń lọ, rally ò tí tán because bàbá Akíntóyè ti pàṣẹ pé rally ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní June 11. A dẹ̀ ti wà ní day 44. Ogun Israel ti wà ní 658 bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí. But because a lot of you don't know what is called international forum, and I don't blame us, in tí ọba mọ̀ náà ló mọ̀. But when you're on this platform, tá bá ń sọ fún yín pé gbogbo kìíní ló kò sí láti jọ́ta ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally dé sí làwa láti fi dé sí, because mo mọ̀ pé ìjọ kan máa wà nínú ẹ̀, á tóbi, á gbọ́, á ṣe, ara ẹ̀ náà níjọ́ta lọ sí, whether it was for security, it is still part of Yoruba nation. It might be for security because that is the team àwọn tó kó wa lọ. But àwọn tó ń tajà, àwọn tó wá bá wa ṣáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation kan ni. Ọmọ Yorùbá nation ni. But wọ́n kọ́ sọ pé ẹni tó ń ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá nation no security ó affected ó ní yes. Ara àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ APC gan tínú wọn máa dùn pé Ìgbòho wálé. Because ẹlòmíì ní fáàmì nínú wọn tó lè lọ sóko. Kò support Yorùbá nation, but ó prefer pé kí Ìgbòho wá bá wọn lé Fúlàní kúrò lórí igbó, lórí oko. Àbí mo parọ́? Ṣàmání ààrẹ àwọn tí ó nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho àbí tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho, let me put it that way, wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ Ìgbòho but wọ́n ní choice. Bí wọ́n tẹ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ Aláàfin, inú wọn dùn pé wọ́n tẹ̀ gbọ́ pé Ìgbòho wálé, torí ìwálé Ìgbòho yẹn ó ti indicate pé lótìtọ́ o àwọn máa ní àǹfààní àti padà sóko. And this is why we say thank you so much to all those that put the visitation together. Now, I want us to start digesting it slowly. France, ó jáde, ó náà ti recognize a Palestinian. France. But there is now pressure lórí the UK government gangan pé position wo lẹ́yìn wà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Palestinian. What is your position? So as I speak to us today, there is a big campaign by the many countries and also MPs, member of parliament, and it's something I'm going to pick from there in just about a few minutes. You're listening to Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps as we continue to ask, our right to self-determination must be respected. There is mostly in the UK, around the world, especially when it comes to people that want to have their own statehood. Ṣó possible pé gbogbo àwọn tá à ń pè ní senator tọ́dọ̀ tiwa? I want us to listen to this. Is it possible that àwọn tó jẹ́ senator ní Southwest, ṣó possible pé kí wọ́n kọ lẹ́tà pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation? Ká tó tẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ jáde síta pé a fẹ́ lọ bá UK or recognize. I want to know in the comment section. Do you think it is possible in the current structure of what we are seeing today, within Nigeria, Yoruba land, southwest part of Nigeria, so possible pé àwọn tó jẹ́ senator ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó títí dé Kwara tó jẹ́ ti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, so possible pé wọ́n lè kọ lẹ́tà sí Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu pé a fẹ́ country tiwa? Is it possible? Please put it in the comment section. So possible. Ṣé rò pé wọ́n lè ṣe kọ́kọ́ lẹ́tà sí pé a fẹ́ dá dúró, a fẹ́ exit Nigeria? I don't think they would do it. I don't think they would ever even think about such. Torí pé ìyẹn ò ń ṣe interest tiwọn rárá. They have no interest to such. Their interest is Nigeria. And they believe that Nigeria must continue to exist. And that is why Eshewu went and comment, one, it is not possible. Mutiri, it is not possible. Yẹn lọ́nà bí mẹ́ta, àbí ọ̀nà bí márùn-ún. Bí àwọn tó kù sí lórí program, pẹ̀lú wa. But mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀ tí, because engaging is very good when we are doing a live like this. It's not possible. The answer is no. Eshegoni Yawa Rukayat Wani. They have seen it all, so I don't think it's okay to send them a letter. Hey, get into Mosombe. Am I worried nípa tó wà lórí screen? Ìbéèrè tí mo béèrè, mo mọ̀ pé there's a lot of noise at the background. There's not much I can do to that. Ìbéèrè mi ni pé ṣó possible, ṣó ṣeé ṣe pé àwọn tó jẹ́ senator ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó represent ilẹ̀ Yorùbá from whatever political party kọ́kọ́ lẹ́tà sí Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu pé àwa Yorùbá people a fẹ́ kúrò ní Nigeria? That's just the question I've asked. Èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀ wò lórí screen yẹn màá sọ síta because àwọn tó wà ní orí Instagram and all that cannot say it. So the answer is no. So the question now again is, at what point ni àwọn senator yẹn lẹ́yìn fi pé wọ́n máa lè gbégbèsè tí wọ́n lè fi sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá country? At what point? At what point ni wọ́n máa lè sọ pé ìran Yorùbá tó ń pa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń pariwo pé àwọn fẹ́ country wa yìí? So that means that we are likely not to get any support from the senators. We're likely not to. We're likely not to. All right. Okay, someone says, and I quote, they will only make a move when we show resilience and civil disobedience. All right. Now, what we are witnessing today, lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ti Palestinian, is that 100 MPs, these are not MP in Palestinian. These are not MPs in the representing the Palestinian people. But they are MPs that are representing the British citizen within their own constituencies. And these MPs have now come out hundred of them, and 100 wọ́n mà ti jáde ní UK báyìí, and they are putting the British Prime Minister under a serious pressure to recognize Palestinian as a state. To recognize Palestinian as a state. Over 100 MPs signed. Kò ń ṣe party kan, kò ń ṣe just the Labour Party, neither is it just the Conservative Party. These are what they call cross-party. And they're now putting Stammer, the UK Prime Minister, under pressure demanding that the British government must recognize Palestinian as a state. The background noise is the reason why I'm just trying to slow down, the discussion. Quite an interesting time to be alive. Over 100 MPs have now signed a cross-party letter demanding Stammer, the British Prime Minister, to recognize Palestinian as a state. To recognize Palestinian as a state. The next question, Timothy Berry. We have done quite a lot of rallies, engagement, likewise in the United Kingdom in the last 5 years. At what point would 100 MPs recognize Yoruba as I'll take that again. At what point la feel pé 100 MPs like these cross-party máa tọwọ́ bọ̀wé láti demand from the British Prime Minister, whether it's the one there now or whether they will change it because the political party can change their party leader and bring in somebody else. At what point we feel pé there will also be a similar case of recognition by the British MP in the demands that Yoruba become an independent country? At what point? This is a question mark. tí mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo àpapọ̀ bá ronú sí. At what point? Because what is playing out in the UK right now is good for the Palestinian cause. But how do we get to the same stage where we can push the MPs? Nítorí 30,000, I believe the numbers has risen from that now. The last time, which is about some few months back, it is about almost 32,000 Palestinian people have died. I believe that number would have risen close to 50,000. Ṣé ó dìgbà tí ẹ̀mí púpọ̀ bá já kúrò ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí rí pé wọ́n pààyàn, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ta sílẹ̀ and all that? Is that when they're going to recognize a Yoruba country? That is just where I want us to go this afternoon. That is just where I want us to touch at. Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. This is the first recording, and we would continue with the second part of the recording as well. Once again, a very good afternoon. At what point, ní ìgbà wo nírú àwọn MP báyìí náà máa dìde sí irú ọ̀rọ̀ tiwa? Most of them are not blind. One month on law, and I'm sure they are aware of a lot of our reasons that ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ country tiwa. All those reasons have been tabled, presented in different formats, different ways across board. But ṣé ó dìgbà tí nǹkan bá change from the current situation to what you see? Lọ́mọ dá sí. Ṣó dìgbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀mí bá túbọ̀ já, tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ̀mí bá túbọ̀ lọ ni wọ́n máa dá sí? What will give the MPs the reasons láti dá sí kéèsì tọ̀dọ̀ tiwa náà? Kí ni nǹkan tó máa fáwọn ní reason pé ìtẹ́yìn náà ń béèrè fún yìí o? Territorial wá drop letter ní October last year lọ́dọ̀ Prime Minister tí Ìgbòho mú wá on behalf of 60 million Yoruba people. And this is why I am trying to ask some of us maybe that might have a better knowledge. I know at the point, Tomadasi, but I'm trying not to be the one to push that anymore. I want every one of us now to think about it. It might be the background noise. Ní ìgbà wo lẹ̀yin rò pé 100, do you know the meaning of 100? I will be reading some of the comment out so that way it helps us to balance the conversation. Let me clean my glasses so that and what I'll do is I will put the link of because I'm streaming this through StreamYard. So that, and I'm also on Instagram, but apparently studio number Memofiche. So I would have loved to receive calls. I just pay Lori Koikimedia, Emani Latilo switch see another platform, Latimaro, so that I can make back calls. I don't want to be the one to, I know at the point, but I am not going to say at the point when come by. because we're all in this together. So let me read from Keke Oku's on Instagram. He says, they will never act on the situation in Nigeria until it gets to critical stage and the ambassador need to leave Nigeria. Wow. Mr. Kola Lawal ni Onga. At what point? Let me get the link out in case Tabarenti Ofe join the broadcast here. So let me bring the link up quickly. You can just click on that link and it will bring you in. I'm still going to read what the MPs have said, but because of this noise, don't worry, when we say slow down. So that's the link there in case the Bafe Darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láti join the discussion. All you need to do is click on that link and it will bring you straight into the Zoom, into the broadcast. Àlejò wo mo kí gbogbo ẹni tó fẹ́ dá sí. So I'm going to put the link as well on the Koikimedia WhatsApp group. So that a lè láǹfààní àwọn tó wà nínú, so I come and gbé wọn wọlé lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan so that mo kẹ́yìn yẹn wá. At what point mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Bàbá wa Táíwò ní tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation kò bá dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ wọn kò ní dá sí. Okay, all right, I'll open the phone line as well, but tẹ́ bá fẹ́ dá sí link tí ẹ máa fi dá sí ni àti put sínú comment section yẹn. Tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́ wọlé link yẹn agbe wọnúlé. At what point ni àwọn tí wọ́n pè ní member of parliament ti United Kingdom táwọn náà máa dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation recognition as a country? The British government was handed a letter last year. There has not been much response from them. The letter is currently in the hand of King Charles, but again, they haven't said much on it. Let's read the letter and we will go back to why Palestinian is gaining more countries that wants to recognize them. France has done so. Trump is not happy. So let's read further. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is under increasing pressure to recognize a Palestinian state, with over 100 MPs signing a cross letter demanding it take the step. The letter is being organized even by the Labour backbencher Sarah Champion, who also sits as the International Development Committee chair. The right, British recognition of Palestinian will be particularly powerful, given its role as the author of the Balfour Declaration and the former mandatory power in Palestinian. What we will do is we will find out what the Balfour Declaration is all about. But let's deal with this first. Since 1980, we have backed a two-state solution. Such a recognition would give that position substance, as well as living up to historic responsibility we have to the people under that mandate. Earlier this month, nearly 60 Labour MP called on David Lammy. David Lammy was the one that came to Nigeria telling Yoruba people to accept 50 years more inside what is known as Nigeria. I'm sure a lot of you remember then. Once again, this is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Late last night, Number 10 released a statement on Gaza. I'll be telling you what that statement is all about, calling the situation unspeakable, undefensible. But a growing number of the Labour backbencher fear it is not enough. In terms of the statement 10 issue yìí kò ran in tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí ó ju ọ̀rọ̀ statement 10 issue lọ. In táwọn èèyàn fẹ́ gbọ́ nísìn ni pé kí ni ọ̀nà àbáyọ, kí lẹ fẹ́ ṣe sórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Palestinian, kí ni UK government fẹ́ ṣe sórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwa ọmọ Yorùbá, àwa ọmọ ìrànmọ́ládé. Let's ask this question because it's a very important one. Mo ń bẹ̀ tó wà lórí Twitter space. But the French government has done something that UK government has not done, which is the recognition of the Palestinian people as a state. Does it mean that Palestinian people that are gaining this momentum in the world today is because there is a war going on in their own country? Ṣé torí pé ogun lọ níbẹ̀ and many people have died and many people are still dying, òun ló ṣe ń gbé pressure jáde? After France, and remember, like I said earlier, it is currently 658 days as at today, in 25/7/2025. 658 days. Israel at war. 658 days. Awatiwani, 44 days of the rally is building up as a momentum. How it will hit later, I don't know. It will be up to those that we are engaging, that we want to leave Nigeria. So you can see that it can start as it's building up right now, and things can become whatever it will be as days and months continue. The British Prime Minister says statehood is Palestinian inalienable right. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ bẹ̀yẹn dáadáa. Is that not the same thing Babakito is telling us? This is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Apá kejì láti ilé-iṣẹ́ wa níbi tí a ti ń gbé ìròyìn jáde, láti bí tí a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí ìran Yorùbá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ túlẹ̀ nínú ìdààmú àti wàhálà táwọn Britain kó sí wa lọ́rùn láti 1914. Ó ti pé 110 years. Kò sí àlàáfíà nítorí pé a kì í ṣe ẹ̀yà kan náà, a kì í ṣe ọmọ ìlú kan náà. Èní ní 25/7/2025, aago 4 àbọ̀ ló fẹ́ lọ́nà láti ilé-iṣẹ́ wa ní studio wa ní Africa. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí àwọn Palestinian tí gbogbo àgbáyé tán ní kó jẹ́ kó dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. Àmọ́ British Prime Minister is under serious pressure látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn MP over 100 MP bá ti ṣe sọ nínú VN tàkọ́kọ́ have now signed a cross-party letter. That means pé Labour Party, Conservative pẹ̀lú àwọn independent political party tó wà nínú parliament wọ́n wá pé 100. Wọ́n wá sọ fún British Prime Minister Stammer pé àsìkò tó má tún jẹ́ kó pẹ́ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ kó recognize Palestinian gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè. Mo wá ń béèrè pé ní ìgbà wo ni irú ẹ̀ lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí gbogbo ọmọ àwọn tó jẹ́ senator wa lẹ́nìí kí wọ́n recognize Yorùbá kó dẹ̀ kọ lẹ́tà sí Senate President Agbakoba àti President Bola Ahmed Tinubu pé àwa ìran ọmọ Yorùbá o a fẹ́ dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè, nítorí pé a rí nínú àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ tí à ń kà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí pé British Prime Minister ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn Palestinian náà ní lóòótọ́ láti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè tí wọ́n ń pè ní inalienable right. Òun náà lẹ̀tọ́ tí bàbá Akíntóyè ń sọ pé a ní right lé lórí, but hasn't so far declared recognition. That is the reason why ti máa ń sọ pé ẹlẹ́nu méjì ní UK àwọn náà ni wọ́n ní yes any right ó dẹ ẹ fún wọn ní recognition. Mo wá tún wá ń béèrè pé ibo ni ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá máa dé lórí ìrìn àjò yìí tí a lè rí 100 MP ní United Kingdom tí wọ́n lè sọ fún British Prime Minister Stammer pé kó recognize ìran àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n fẹ́ òmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ ìwé tí a gbé lọ bá wọn ní October ní last year. The British Prime Minister says, and I quote again, that statehood, kí ni wọ́n pè ní statehood? Kí àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ ìlú ara wọn. The status of being a recognized independent nation. That is what Yoruba people are demanding and asking for. Nothing more, nothing less. No negotiation, no nothing like that. No. We want it. That is our demand. Nothing must be attached to our right to self-determination. I'm a for any country, no. We want a Yoruba independent country. That is what Baba Akíntóyè wants. That is what Igboho wants, and that is what every one of us wants, and nothing changed that. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń pè ní statehood. State as in STATEHOOD. Taba sọ pé the status of being recognized as an independent nation. The condition of being a state, according to the Britannian dictionary. The condition of being a state, especially the condition of the status of being one state. Ìlú ni United States of America. Ìlú ni Germany. Ìlú ni France. Ìlú ni Belgium. Ìlú ni Holland. Ìlú ni Israel. Ìlú ni Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. Yorùbá náà fẹ́ jẹ́ ìlú afẹ́dádúró. A lè ní gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tiwa, a ní ọlọ́pàá tiwa, a ní sójà tiwa, a ní àwọn tó máa ṣe ààbò, and many things. We are not interested in Nigeria because Nigeria was forced on us in 1914 amalgamation. This does not have to bring bloodshed. This does not have to bring anything more than let's sit together and get it. But the question is, ǹjẹ́ wọ́n máa accept pé ká sit together and have it out, or it will go the other way around? If the British Premier, Stammer, also pé Palestinian has the inalienable right, kí ló dé tí wọ́n fún wọn ní recognition? The UK government will always act on their self-interest before any other thing. A comment coming on Instagram. This is Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré gbọ́ láti ẹni tó wà lórí Twitter space. Ẹ bá ṣí máìkì ní kíákíá torí pé àìtí land lórí tàǹbàbọ̀. Àwa nìyẹn.
Kò sí tó ní fẹ́ jẹ́, we still have to go to the other route. If we want any international or the homeland to have our attention, we have to do something. I need that to show. Some of them, they know it's me. Likewise, some of them too have taken us for granted. And then the mark of their own to undergo. To buy the trust of diplomatic to Pakistan, we have to take action. Anything to get me only, if you don't tell me, I can't buy that. To tell you to buy the pipe, they want, I can't buy that. This is now. You have to block it. So, about me more, we have to do it. Both international, both our own people. About the block, we don't think they don't think. We don't have to fight them. We don't have to kill anybody. But I think a lot of people understand what I mean. We have to shut down something to know we are serious. If that you are partly shut down, time have to gain attention. That is our next thing to do right now. Thank you so much.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa, a ṣì ń bá ètò yẹn nìṣó. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé láti orí ìkànnì wa ní Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Let's go further back. The British Prime Minister Stammer is under pressure from senior members of his own government. Àwọn tó jọ ń ṣèjọba, so táwọn tó jọ ń ṣèjọba pẹ̀lú Tinubu tó bá fún Tinubu ní pressure pé kí Yorùbá dá dúró, kò sí kan tó bad níbẹ̀. It is done across the globe. In tó ń fi ń pè ní diplomacy nìyẹn. And we are not running a military government in Nigeria. It's called democracy, even if it is not perfect. But the question is, ṣé wọ́n ní balls? Ṣé wọ́n lè gbégbésẹ̀ kó put pressure lórí Tinubu rather than 2027 as most of them want? Ṣé wọ́n lè fi pressure fún Tinubu pé no, a recognized Yoruba country, a recognized Yoruba statehood, inalienable right, just like the British Prime Minister is saying as well. As well as by the French President Emmanuel Macron, to declare the United Kingdom recognizes a Palestinian state. How and when would a British government recognize a Yoruba state? When and how? What must be done? What will be the process? Can this be possible? Can this be done? What will need to be put together to make sure that the British government recognize a Yoruba statehood? What needs to be done? Kí ni ìgbésẹ̀ wo la gbọ́dọ̀ gbé? Ọ̀nà wo la máa gbà? That they will have no choice than to recognize an independent Yoruba statehood. Tá à ń pè ní country, òmìnira orílẹ̀-èdè tiwa. Is it possible? Yes. Can it be done? Yes. Ibi kan ló ń sọ nísìn that the French government, Emmanuel Macron, òun ti recognize àwọn Palestinian. Ó wá ń sọ fún UK pé kí ló dé tẹ̀yin náà recognize? Ìwọ náà ló sọ pé inalienable right, ẹ̀tọ́ wọn ni. But why take us back to about some few years back, which is 3 years ago. I have the letter right in front of me now, and I'll read it out. Lára àwọn tí a jọ ń ṣe Yorùbá Nation decided to write a letter to the MP, tó jẹ́ the same kind of member of parliament And you can see the hypocrisy of the British government sometimes, and those that also call themselves the members of parliament in the UK. Bóyá torí pé ẹni tí ó respond sí reply request of the ẹni tó jẹ́ constituency, there were any reason to support us as at the time 3 years ago again. So if you look on your screen today, this was when conservative government was in power. Labour Party ló wà níjọba nísìn. When the reply came back, I was given a copy of that letter, the reply. I remember in 2022, we talked about it. So it's good to bring it back out again. And this movement, you can go to my website, www.koikimedia.com. You will find everything that you need to know, from the letter that we have received, from the letter that was sent out, to the letter that we sent to Buhari, Good News Path to Prosperity, and many, many things are there. But because I find time, and I cannot help more than what I'm doing already. Also, the websites where you will find documents and many things that is of interest. Some of these things are extracted. It doesn't matter what country you are. It does not matter. Mukima matobi milomo ekaboma mommy. Mukima mami dada. Akola jimo eni ashopolokwe. I spoke to her at great length this morning in London, just not to give too much stress. I did not bother to call her. I didn't give her any confidential talk as well, even mother to son. But I just wanted her to know that everything went as planned at the boat palace Taloni Ijo Tuesday. Ekabo mami, ebanki gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹgbẹ́ yín tí àjọ wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá Nation. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ nípa èyí tí ẹ wà níta. Even in African countries, you can take a template and write a collector. Ghana ló wà ní collector sí wọn. As long as you have the right to be wherever you are across the globe, tó ti ń ṣe pé kò má lọ fara ẹ̀sìn rìn, tó bá ti ń ṣe illegal. Even if you're in any African countries, you can write letters. You can get in touch with them and tell them about Yoruba Nation and why we need to exit. Àwọn lè ní interest kó jẹ́ pé àwọn ló máa influence àwọn tó kù, but ẹ bá kò jókòó tẹ́ni Bàbá Kítóyè àti Ìgbòho àtàwọn tọ́jọ́ ń ṣe YSDM Ìfẹ́lódù Àpapọ̀ Akíkanjú Multi-Faith and all these and all that, and Yonka. Many groups are working simultaneously on a daily basis and they are never tired. And the letter goes like this. The letter was addressed to one MP then called Demi Maggie Healy, House of Commons. Dear Dame Maggie. Okay, let me put it. Ẹni tí wọ́n kọ lẹ́tà sí láti constituency òun ni Dame Maggie. Òun wá kọ lẹ́tà yìí, ó wá forward lẹ́tà yẹn sí Vicky Ford níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn tó ń pè ní Minister for Africa, Latin America and the Caribbean. Òun wá reply MP yẹn wá copy ẹni tó send the request pé ẹ bá wa béèrè pé kí ló dé tí UK government to recognize wa, ẹ gbọ́ respond padà. This was in 2022. The letter is dated 31st of August. You can get a copy on my website if you are interested. We decided to cover the person that was sent to just for their own security. Thank you for correspondent of 27th of July on behalf of your constituent. Irú nǹkan báyìí ló máa wáyé nígbà tí Yorùbá government bá dé. How many of you can write your senator today and you'll get a reply? Èèyàn mélòó nínú Nàìjíríà lénìí ló lè kọ lẹ́tà sí àwọn senator yín tí ẹ dẹ̀ máa gba èsì padà? It shows that you're not in a country. as we have told you a lot of times. But if you accept, you're living in denial, and you're praying that Nigeria will be great, knowing fully well that Nigeria can never be great. It's a failed state, and there's nothing you can do to that. It's not your fault. It's the British fault, and that's why we're asking them to recognize a Yoruba nation. Let's go further. Ẹni tó kọ lẹ́tà yẹn, it was just simple. The purpose of the letter to their MP was about Yoruba independence. And this now is the response back by the British government. The same British government that is saying, oh, Palestinians have the right. Only right, lóòótọ́. Ẹ̀tọ́ wà fún wọn, but I recognize wọn. About Yoruba independence. Vicky Ford, I am replying back as the Minister for Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Now listen carefully. Share analysis lórí. The UK government shares your constituent concerns about the range of security challenges Nigeria faces, which include violence in the southwest. This is having a devastating impact on affected communities. The UK government condemns all violence against civilians in Nigeria, including that which affect Yoruba communities. While security in Nigeria is the responsibility of the Nigerian government, I would like to reassure your constituents that I have discussed their response to insecurity with the Nigerian authorities on a number of occasions, most recently with the foreign minister then, Oyeme, and the vice president then, Yemi Osibajo. When I visited Nigeria in February, I also raised these issues with the Nigerian National Security Advisor, General Mongono, during the inaugural dialogue of the UK-Nigeria Security and Defense Partnership in February. The Prime Minister also discussed insecurity with President Buhari, is now late, at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in June. It is important to note that the perpetrators of violence do not come from any one ethnic or religious group, and the effect are felt by communities of different faith and ethnicities. So the British government has said that we are not one. Across the country, we are supporting local and national peace-building efforts to encourage dialogue between the many ethnic groups. Take note of that word, many ethnic groups, and communities that make up and contribute to the strength and diversity of Nigeria. Do you think that our ethnic groups is creating strength, is contributing rather, strength and diversity, or is it the other way around? Finally, your constituency calls. This is another area that I want you to listen to carefully. This was in 2022, we wrote to the British government. Well, I mean the British MP, which is also representing, we wrote to the Minister for Africa that represents the British government anyway, yes. Finally, your constituents calls for the UK government to recognize an independent Yoruba nation. The UK government respects the territorial integrity of Nigeria. We support the Nigerian government commitment to work for a secure and prosperous Nigeria for all its citizens, and is committed to working with Nigeria in support of this objective. Let me quickly analyze that area. The UK government says, and I quote, "We cannot recognize you." Why are we going to recognize you? We respect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, the same Nigeria that they created for us in 1914. Disagree with the Yoruba nation. I hope you understand that the interest of these countries is the reason why you're suffering. There's nothing about somebody is doing you. The The interest of these countries is the reason why you're suffering and you're not moving forward as people on our land. So why are we going to support you? We only support the Nigerian government commitment to secure and prosperous Nigeria. Can somebody tell me the reason why Igboho went to Babawa Láàfin àti Babawa Olúgbọ́n of Orílẹ̀-Ègbọ́n? Mo fẹ́ yọ nǹkan kan jáde látara lẹ́tà yìí. Kí nìdí tí olóyè ṣe lọ? Quickly, ẹ bá mi kọ sí ní comment section, please. Mo kí màmá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Kí nìdí tí olóyè àti àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tó dìde ṣe lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn Aláàfin? Kí nìdí? Okay, ẹ ṣé gan ni. I will not waste too much time. Security. Now, let's go back to this letter. The UK government respects the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Okay. We support the Nigerian government commitment to work for a secure and prosperous Nigeria for all its citizens and is committed to working with Nigeria in support of this objective. The question is Nigeria government providing security? The UK government will continue to support Nigeria to uphold its responsibility to tackle rising insecurity, whilst also encouraging the government to take urgent action to implement long-term solutions and address the root causes of violence and to hold perpetrators. The root cause of the problem is Nigeria. The root cause of the problem that exists is Nigeria. Why? We have the Fulanis that are minorities threatening the livelihood of the majority that are Yorubas. We can't get to the farm. We have cultural differences with the Igbos. We have many indigenous people that are now subjugated and not enjoying the benefit of Nigeria as a whole. I was watching a video about a guy from one of the small ethnic minority in Nigeria, and he was crying and saying that, what are they really enjoying in Nigeria? Now you can see why the UK government is not supporting Palestinians that even have, I cannot say Palestinian issue is bigger than our own, but right now their case is gone extremely wide. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Extremely wide. Extremely wide. And let's quickly pick some of the comment quickly before we close the audio that we have here. Babawa Kende says, and I quote, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ṣetánì láti kíni wa, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ṣetán láti kì wá lẹ́yìn, ṣùgbọ́n ìjẹkújẹ tí wọ́n ń jẹ. And I believe one sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn senators wà pé, well, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn dem I want to support, but ìjẹkújẹ tó ń jẹ kò ní jẹ́ kó lè support wa. Bàbá wa tí Ọlọ́run pọ̀ ní, Yorùbá need to be serious at this time, not minding the consequences of this quest for independence we all desire to have. He also went further. Ẹ wo bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣe ń dà wá, ẹ wo bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣe ń dà wá sí basi, ẹ wo bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣe ń, ẹ wo bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣe ń dà wá ní ìlú wa yìí. Bàbá wa Babátúndé Ọlátúnjí, àwọn náà ni, all these senators are just clowns and comedians. Who knows their contact? I don't even know the senator of my constituency. Nigeria is an illegal state created by British. Baba Tiolon Paul went further to say, I am doing my best educating people around me. Yoruba need to exit this British marriage called Nigeria. Why Aziz Badishiri Sokwe? The purpose of the visit was security. Now, I want us to look at it from this point now. We wrote a letter in 2022 to the British government asking the support, but also talking about security. Has there been any changes? Ṣé ìyàtọ̀ ti wà láti 2022? That's 3 years. Àwa ní 2025. Tó bá pé August, which is next month, ní August, right? August 2022 ni wọ́n reply letter yìí. But apparently, tá bá ní ká wò ó, ọ̀túnla tó ń bọ̀ yìí ló máa pé ọdún mẹ́ta gbáko tí letter yìí tí wọ́n kọ sí MP ní London. Because ẹni tó kọ 27th of July ni wọ́n date, but reply tí wọ́n gbé padà wá 31st of August 2022. So that's about 3 years. Ṣé látọdún mẹ́ta nísìn tí a ti ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation tá dẹ̀ ti engage the British government? This was even before Igboho took a letter to the British government in October last year. The question again is, this government that has not recognized the Palestinian, do you think that they will recognize Yoruba people as well? I'm talking about the British government now. You can see why when we sit here, tan sọ̀rọ̀, tan share analysis, tan gbọ́rọ̀ kalẹ̀, you look at all the pros and the cons, and you say, fẹ́ ìjà, dẹ̀ fẹ́ wàhálà, just like Baba Kito Ishima said. All we want is give us the opportunity to sit and negotiate and decide our fate, whether we still want to be part of Nigeria or not. Allow us to have access to sit together and discuss these issues. But at the end of the day, it seems that there are some people that are running away from the truth. They are running away from the fact that the situation right now in Nigeria needs to be looked into before it explodes. Àwọn tó yẹ kó dìde sí, we call their attention, we're still calling them, that these issues cannot be swept under the carpet. I don't have to come on the broadcast and be screaming and shouting. Just do the broadcast and leave the rest. My screaming is not what you need anymore. It's just for me to present and walk out of the broadcast. I can come back 3 times, 4 times in a day, and I'll have different things to talk about. But it is entirely up to Bubuwa to accept the truth and nothing but the truth, that to get this country that we're talking about, you would have to work hard towards it. It's not going to come as easy as many of us are thinking. It's not going to come as easy as many of us might want it to be. It will be a tug of war, because those that doesn't want you to go mean they don't want you to go. I want to forget law. They will do everything possibly best to make sure that you're going nowhere. They have what it takes. They have the money. They have the connections. They have the resources that we don't have. And those resources is our own natural resources to yẹ kó ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwa ìrànmọ́ aládé. But that does not mean we should stop what we are doing. Rather, we should become much more fire in our blood. Our blood should be firing up on a daily basis for our demands and our right to self-determination. Because self-determination, as the British government accepted, is an inalienable right. And that right must be respected, must be given to us without any attachment a lè gba Yorùbá nation pẹ̀lú attachment lórí ẹ̀. We have to have an independent country without any attachment. But it is not going to come without a lot of work. And that is why we say we never stop. We will never stop our quest to self-determination. Yoruba nation is the only solution, nothing more, nothing less. Anything short of that, 2027 is not a solution to the problem. The solution to the problem is for us to demand, which is what we are doing, for us to engage, which is what we are doing. And the last one is, would he get into that stage? If you get into that stage, that means all effort to have it resolved peacefully failed. Gbogbo ọ̀nà pé kó má di wàhálà did not work. It fails. And that has now forced it into where it is now, or when it's going to eventually happen. And this is why it has been so fun. Those that have the nose, those that have, we're currently live on Rumble as well, which is another platform that enables us to stream from. Like I always say, follow me on all the platforms and do not wait until you cannot find me on YouTube and there was a way Koiki lórí program Shekosi. Moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lórí kalẹ̀. We're going to wind it down so that we have the privilege, if I am not too tired, to come back again and give us another interesting part of the Yoruba Nation conversation. This one has to do with international level, which I'm sure you have seen in the broadcast. Because what we do on this platform is we try to make sure that our people have the understanding and the knowledge of Integrity, so that come marry be ere torí pé intawa ń béèrè fún yín ẹ̀yin nìkan kọ́ lẹ ń béèrè fún wọn. The Palestinians are asking for it. Almost 50,000 people have died, killed by the Israel government in the last, according to them, 658 days, only because they were also attacked by Hamas on the 10th of October 2023, Lotinja. So having a rally today at day 44, day 600. They have time to have day 600 here. We have we have 5 months to the end of this year. Eba me work out how many days in the year quickly. But we have a clear 365 days in 2026. God spares our life. All these can still be added to the day of the rallies, subject to onoti and thought that in fact make Africa country wa lower Nigeria tawa nínú ẹ̀. Ó máa rọrùn kí má sọ pé kò ní rọrùn, but ó máa wá without any big force. You must be joking. We all must be joking. Whatever the force could be is part of what we're doing right now. Not literally, but we know that even those that have been killed in their numbers, they are not being recognized as we say it today. So I'm not going to be coming out and be screaming and screaming. We will just continue to do what we are doing, analyzing things, connecting the dots, and letting you to understand. That does not mean that the action is still not in my blood. I'm still currently back home in Yoruba land as we speak, doing what we love to do, while we wait for our leaders to forge ahead. The rally might not be of interest to you because you don't know yet, but one thing is, the days of the rally will increase The numbers of those days will mean that many things can happen simultaneously or otherwise. Mo kí màmá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láti ibikíbi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ mi, tí ẹ ti ń wò mí. A ní rí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ lórí ilé iṣẹ́ wa ní aago 5 ló fẹ́ lọ lù. As òun ti wà nílẹ̀ pátápátá, I cannot see the sun from the view of my window, but the serene is calm, and I believe ibikíbi tó lúkálùkù wa bá wà, kọ́ba Elédùmarè kó máa fi ṣọ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ wa. 153 days before the end of this year. So that means that whatever we know, we have 153 more days before the end of the year. That will be added to the days of the rally. But one thing is, do not give up and do not lose concentration with too many distractions across the government. Because think about government, it doesn't matter whether Tinubu borrow money. What we are focusing here is to bring it to you while we need to exit Nigeria and to get it out in a simple message. For anyone in university, anyone taja, anyone pure water, anyone mechanic, anyone this. That's all we do here, and I believe that you need to understand that. Don't forget that every support to this platform is very, very appreciating. I can confirm that we have received the goods that have asked us to support. The goods have been picked up. We are working to work on what is inside it, and I'll be telling us more in the next probably update when I come back again. But that does not mean that Kedawani no support me. A media needs constant support to enable them to do more in creating the kind of pattern of awareness. We have a lot of plans that we can execute, but we cannot give it out because the enemies are out there. And one of the biggest media that they want to attack is Koikimedia, because they know my voice and our message are reaching the numbers of people that we want them to reach. But they are getting the message now that we have asked people, we have told them, what next after Tinubu? If anything happens, we don't pray. If anything happens to Tinubu, Shetima becomes the president automatically, just like Jonathan became the president after the death of Yaradua. And I hope that also we want Tinubu 2027. There's nothing wrong in that, but that doesn't guarantee that, because in the Southwest, we have, if you look at what the British government have done, because I have just about a few minutes to end the broadcast, British government, what the British government have done is that, sorry, 979, what the British government have done is telling you that the North has the numbers, but knowing fully well that the northern part of the country doesn't have the numbers. So, Tebaniki Elodibo in 2027, let's give and take. The Northerners are not going to vote for Tinubu this time around. Potentially, I will be explaining that in the next broadcast, hopefully. Àwọn tó ń pè ní North will not vote for Tinubu. They will not. You know why? Because war any reason to vote for Tinubu. And that means that tí Yorùbá bá wá sọ pé Tinubu 2027, ṣé ẹ ti dìbò tẹ́lẹ̀ ni lẹ ti ní result yẹn lọ́wọ́, àbí ẹ ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ dì? I don't know how you want to work on that. So I want us to think about it. Yes, Tinubu 2027, but ṣé Northerners tí wọ́n ní dìbò fún ìbò tí wọ́n yẹn kí lẹ máa ṣe sí? Because how do you want to add the numbers together? Because we know the structure that British left is that any election, not only numbers. I don't know what you think about that, but I would think that many of you might not understand that 2027, Tinubu himself will be the last president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Yoruba people will become an independent country, and many other countries will come out as well. I believe I'm getting something from my team behind me. They want me to quickly bring out on the screen. As we always say on this platform, send the video. I thought we could send in the video 979 because you never connect me. Okay, so creating worry. So Moki let me slow down and see if I can bring that up to the screen before I go. So that is on that. We hope that many of you understand that Tinubu is putting us in more danger moving into 2027. It's literally putting us in a danger, and if care is not taken, things can become worse. Because I was listening to Kwankwaso yesterday, and I was oh, okay, it might be a minimum time. Wi-Fi and mo share could drop. Apologies. Record your Wi-Fi. So many of us need to understand that the game that Tinubu wants to play in 2027 can bite him. So, and there's nothing we can do to that. So I want to prepare mind so that we can quickly, exit this contraction as quickly as possible. Kolonko jẹ́ kó ṣeéṣe fún wa láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà kí a lè rẹ́rìn ayọ̀ àtọmọdé àtàgbàlagbà. There's nothing anybody can tell you. Nigeria is currently gone. And when I mean gone, it is gone. Bye. So whether they like it or not, whether they want to try to hold it together, Nigeria has come to its expiration, and nothing can stop anybody, by saying that Nigeria shima shishe kolonjo ki Nigeria da. No. All that is just a dream and a wish that is not going to happen. So all we can pray for is how quickly we can leave this country and we can eventually have our own country of our choice. The British government, as much as once a Palestinian has the right to have their country, but they refuse to recognize them. So that means that the likelihood that the British will recognize us as well is not going to be there. I don't know, but the likelihood, because in don't recognize our Palestinian. So why would they recognize us as well? So all these are what you need to understand, that they are likely not to. But that does not mean we cannot still engage them. We have done that in October last year. We should do more to engage them. Either they listen to us or they don't want to listen to us. What we need to do is just continue to engage them as much as we are going to. So we're just trying to pull up this quickly so that we can bring this broadcast to an end. One is Shoki Lobelge. Moki gbogbo èèyàn wa bàbá wa Kẹ́hìndé, moki bàbá tí Ọlọ́run ní Paul, moki màmá mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, moki bàbá wa Adams Ọlámilékan, moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin grandma, moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin Mùsùlùmí pé Ọba Elédùmarè á jẹ́ kí ìntànfẹ́ kó bọ́ sí. Moki gbogbo àwa tí a jẹ́ oníṣẹ̀ṣe náà pé ájú wa ṣe o, kò ní sú wa, kò ní rẹ̀ wá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kẹ́yìn Christians káàkiri náà pé our prayers must be intensified. We must not give up. We must do everything within the power that we have so that we can be free. Because freedom, when we have the freedom, when we have the freedom, we are already going to have a better life. My laptop is overworking as well. Trying to say something, bring something up quickly. It's just a lot of heavy load on it. So, all right, I'm going. So, mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ gbọ́ wa nílé àtẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa níbi tí ẹ ti ń láǹfààní àti gbọ́ mi. Ẹ má yẹ kó sú wa, ẹ má yẹ kó rẹ̀ wá, àjọṣe wa náà Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́. We will do what we can do on our own platform to keep the momentum and the engagement going, and without any reason for you to be worried. So ká máa báṣẹ́ lọ. Ẹni tó ní Yorùbá Nation ní wáyé, wàá jí níjọ́ kan, wàá realize pé you are no longer in Nigeria. It's not a day work. Nigeria was not created in one day. Nigeria was not created in 2 years. Nigeria itself was not created in 3 years. The plan of Nigeria, was a long process. So whoever is thinking that everything will come, straightforward, let me tell you, it will take some time. That time is what we're doing right now. I got to go now because it seems I'm having a bit of, difficulty, bringing what I wanted to bring up, and it's slowing me down because I have other engagements that is waiting for me. But hopefully, because the system is becoming a little bit too much, laptop here. So I'll probably have to come back, and I don't want it to freeze. So I'll come back probably not tomorrow, and we'll continue from there. Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the weekend. As today's Friday, right? Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And Yoruba Nation, no retreat, no surrender. Yoruba Nation is our destination. Yoruba Nation is the final. Yoruba Nation is the beginning. And nobody should fool you that we should work towards fixing Nigeria. You cannot fix Nigeria. It's a failed state. Nigeria is not going to work. Nigeria is gone. All we can do right now is to demand our total exit from Nigeria itself. And on that note, staff that have worked tirelessly, in the last 72 hours, especially those that made it home late midnight yesterday, about 2 o'clock. The last set of my staff got to their house. Bye for now.
She said